Microphone check 1 2. Hey, Yizzo, what's going on? Welcome in to another episode of Mornings with Omar, and it's me, your host. Of course, it is I, Omar, and I thank y'all for tuning in, man. I really do. I appreciate it. Um, it's been another good little break here between episodes, and I do apologize. I'm definitely going to be a little more consistent here going forward. Just many things going on in life, and I don't want to come in here and speak to y'all when I'm not in the best place to do so, and I don't think y'all want to hear me in that space either. So, I'm all for self help and self preservation and just taking care of the self. And I can't do that. I mean, I can't do some things without doing that first. So, I appreciate y'all your patience and just rolling with me still throughout it all. So, love is definitely felt. But yeah, man. I hope everybody's doing good, feeling good, looking good, enjoying the good weather that's been out here, wherever you may be. But yeah, man. I hope everybody's enjoying some sun, getting out, and things are opening back up again. So hope everybody's taking advantage of that, doing it in a mindful and safe way. COVID's still out here, so you still got to be on your toes and on point with that. Don't be around too many strangers. But I mean, y'all know how that go. So it's been a good last couple days, couple weeks for myself. Traveling to Puerto Rico recently, and just got back, and just getting back acclimated into daily life out here. So definitely take trips, man. 2020 was a long, brutal, treacherous year when most of us was inside, not able to go out. Some of us couldn't work. So now that we're able, book them flights, man. Get them passports ready and just go. The flights are cheap for the most part, as long as you plan accordingly and things like that. So yeah, get out, man. Get out and just enjoy yourselves. A lot's been going on though. If you have been out and not paying attention to the news, well, the George Floyd trial started last week. I think on like Monday, maybe Tuesday, and they had the prosecution. They had witnesses that was there at the scene. They came and they spoke on just what they seen and what was going on, and the officer's demeanor. I think his name is Officer Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, Shaven, however you say his name. And they had a few gentlemen take the stand and just attest to what they saw. And yeah, it's not looking good for old Officer Chauvin over there, as it shouldn't, because he knows what he did, and with the witnesses that are attesting to what they saw, he murdered George Floyd, and he did it carelessly. He did it without remorse. He did it without regard to human life, and he deserves to get whatever comes from this trial. Honestly, just by what I was watching, I don't see how he can get off. I think he shouldn't get off. He should be found guilty, and I think the state should make an example out of him. I really do, because any other situations that occur to this magnitude, I feel like people should get made an example out of. It shouldn't be that you're able to do this and still live your good life without any repercussions or anything coming from it that is negatively impacting your life at all. Because for it happens way too many times, man, and I hope justice has prevailed. But the trial has been going on. It definitely weighed on me just watching it, because they did play a lot of the body cam, not a lot of it, but they played footage from the cameras that surrounded the buildings and the store, and they showed they played the clip of George Floyd losing his life at the knee of Derek Chauvin. So it's the evidence is there, but yeah, it definitely weighed on me just watching it. I think they had like a warning, on children shouldn't watch it and things like that. And I think they even, come on, Binks, what's up, man? Cat's here just all over me right now. But yeah, they had like therapeutic counseling services that were offered. Like if it says, if this is affecting you, then you can call these numbers and you can get help here. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it does weigh on you, even if you're not, of African descent. I think just watching that and seeing it, I mean, if you have some type of compassion or heart, I think you were affected by it, and you never know how things can affect you, especially in the moment. Like, it may be a couple days later when you really, lash out at something that maybe has nothing to even do with anything, and you just got to be cognizant of what you're feeling and stuff when you're watching things, and try not to. I couldn't even like watch the trial, just all in one sitting. Like, I wanted to, but like I said, it was a lot. So if you felt the same way while you were watching it, or just catching up on it, it was a lot to take in. So I'll be on the lookout for that in the coming week and see what else goes on. But yeah, man, George Floyd trial is definitely begun. Another important thing that's going on is the Georgia voting law that has been taken into effect. And the importance of this, I'm not a Georgia resident, so I should talk to some people about this and see what's going on. But yeah, basically the law, it favors Republicans mightily, in coming elections. So, some of the things I was reading is that, now that they have they're taking the power basically out of the Secretary of State and at the local levels when it comes to, that was loud. When it comes to, just, Binks, relax, man, relax. When it comes to, basically what it was saying was like, Binks, you gotta move. You're just all in my way right now, and I'm trying to record the pod. All right. So yeah, it removes, it takes the power out of the local officials, and it puts the power into the Republican legislator out there. So basically, if the Republicans aren't liking how officials are counting votes and things like that, then they can remove those people. They can just fire them, take them out, and then appoint someone else in that position to oversee the election process and vote counting process. On top of that is many other Binks. I think Binks wants the cords that's attached here. He's playing with them, but so they also put more barriers and things like that for people to vote. They close the window even further on absentee voting and the ballots, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And they had major corporations that said something about it. Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines. I think they were for the bill, but once they got pushed back and people were talking about what's the word? Not banning, boycotting. Yeah, boycotting. Those products and those services and flights and that airline and stuff. Then the people, the companies realized hey, these people aren't going to buy our stuff. And if you know anything about the African American and minority dollar in the United States, they spend $1 trillion plus every year. So that's a lot of money that they would be losing. So they did the right thing. They didn't do it initially. I can't even say they did the right thing. They did what was best for their bottom line, which was side with the people. And but the thing is that the bill's already in effect. So it's gonna take a lot of work to get that overturned or get it out of effect. I'm not a lawyer or the smartest guy when it comes to this type of things. All you could do is just try to educate ourselves and hope that the ones that major in these professions have the support, have the resources, have the dollar to be able to fight these fights for us that we can't fight for ourselves. So it's definitely something that to be on the lookout for as well. The Georgia voting laws, because they're saying like Trump might run again in 3-4 years, 4 years. So now that I was reading on USA Today, it was saying like now that path for Trump just got a lot easier to get votes and not count other votes. So yeah, and Georgia was a Republican state for the longest, and now it was a blue state because the voters came out and voted, and people that they got their voting right, and they cast their vote. And but I was also, another sidetrack, I was also reading something on USA Today as well. They were saying that that it's against the Constitution to put a burden on the people's ability to vote. So it's like I said, it's going to be a lot to look forward to and to pay attention to. I know Stacey Abrams is on it. She was one of the people that really helped voters get registered and things like that on the past election. So I know the work she's going to do and continue to do, and her crew and all the people in Georgia and that are supporting Georgia to make it happen. Because listen, man, voting is a big. It's like one of the foundations to this country, and it's a right that everyone's allowed to do. All the citizens, and it's a reason why voting is so important. Otherwise, people wouldn't go through these parallels to try to, hinder people from voting. So it's obviously important. If they're going to try to minimize your ability to do it, then you got to know that, okay, this is something that I should really put a little more extra effort and attention to, So, and it goes many levels, not just voting, anything that they try to hinder you from doing, what time it is. So, I'll definitely be checking that out and letting y'all know what's going on. But yeah, man, it's a lot. What else is going on in the world? Well, recently, there's been a big thing about the Lil Nas X Nike Air Max shoe shit. I truly don't care about stuff like this. I really don't. But it's something that's going on, and I have 2 cents about it. But basically, what happened was Lil Nas X, he collaborated with some type of artist or something, and they designed a devil worshiping shoe theme version of the shoe or something like that. And they said that they made 666 pairs or something, and they put like some Bible verse on there on the shoe, and it had actual drops of human blood in the soles. To me, it's all weirdo shit, and I don't pay attention to shit like that. But like I said, it's happening, it's going on. He received some backlash, some criticism for it. People are gonna do what gets them attention. So if it's getting attention and it's selling, it's earning money, then yeah, that's just the way it goes. That's how people market things nowadays. That was all marketing right there, and it worked. Obviously, they sold shoes. They said they sold out. So, I mean, like I said, I don't care about this stuff, man. It's stupid. But my only problem with it is I don't care people's affiliations. I don't care people's sexual orientations and how they identify. Because it doesn't affect me at the end of the day. But the image that it has, that's on, the TV screens and internet screens and phone screens. My problem is always going to be how it affects the children, how it affects the people that can't think for themselves clearly, or don't know any better, or just don't have guidance and is trying to find guidance, and they look up to these pop stars, and they hear their music, and it can easily be that stuff can be transferred, that ways of thinking and the ways how you think you're supposed to behave and act and be a certain way. And if you're not already grounded in who you are, and you get influenced by Lil Nas X, then it's like I said, that's where I stand with it, man. I don't like it for the people that are younger and that look up to him. Outside of that, I don't care. I really don't care. But it's a big thing. Nike sued them for it. Somebody will probably pay that tab, and I mean, Nike's still making money at the end of the day because they're still their shoe. I understand why they sue them, because you got to say that we're not with this. We're Christian based, or not even Christian based, but we don't worship the devil. But they sued them, and more would be revealed when it comes to that. It's a little wild stuff, weirdo stuff that I don't really care about. Outside of that, I've been. They had the whole another thing that's happened in the news. Was the rapper artist Quavo from Migos had an altercation with his ex-significant other. Well, they broke up recently, and I typically don't care about stuff like this either. But new stuff came to light, and makes you think about it. That's what it does. So I saw it. It was a video of Quavo and Saweetie trying to fight over a bag of what looked like, I think they said was a video game, maybe a PS5 or something. And so, I think it was Quavo's bag, and then Saweetie took the bag, and then Quavo, muscled the bag away from her. He didn't hit her. He didn't push her. He didn't really lay his hands on her. But the momentum from him taking the bag from her caused her to kind of fall into the elevator. So, it's an image it's a video without much context, without sound. So people are left to formulate their own opinions from that. Some people were saying that he's abusive. Some people were saying that, he did nothing wrong. Some people just, made these assumptions, or, created their own images of people based off of that, their character, based off of that video. And, some say, oh, that's why he left her, or that's why she left him. Some, people are just coming up with all types of things. I think recently she was on a show with her ex-boyfriend. So, they were saying, I don't know, man. I don't keep tabs on this stuff. I don't know the intricacies of it. I just know what happened. And I don't have an opinion. I really don't. I don't have an opinion yet because I don't know enough information. When I get more information, or when I come across more information, I'll have an opinion on it. But this shit happened, and it's not a good look for Quavo. The female can never look bad in situations like this. Not to the majority. And I'm not saying she does. I'm just saying. So yeah, it's these dogs. Listen, I'm not typically recording in my normal place. I'm out here in the trap right now. So these dogs next door, they're pretty loud. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but whatever. So yeah, man. Prayers to everybody that's involved in that situation. Hopefully everyone just moves on cordially. It is what it is. We had a little run. We had fun while it lasted. And now y'all not together. Just go be happy. by yourselves or with other people. I never understood why breakups had to be so messy, or when people act like they can't be amicable. Like, it's cool. I was toxic before. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't, and all my breakups were fucking easy peaches and cream. But I never understood why people have to, like, when they break up, it just has to be such a bad thing. Like, it is what it is, yo. And don't. Who really cares, yo? It's not y'all. Y'all don't know them personally. You can have an opinion, but you don't know these people, so you really don't know what's going on, what they're thinking, how they're really feeling, if they'll get back together, and then, so just let people live their lives, let people figure it out, figure out their relationships, and go from there. But definitely wasn't a good look. So recently, one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about was when you have disagreements or you don't see eye to eye with friends or family members or things like that, and how it can affect the relationship. So, let's say, hypothetically, you have, something that you really want to purchase, okay? You feel real strongly about this purchase because it's maybe a passion. It's like a passion. It's going to help you with whatever your passion is. It's going to be a resource for you. And let's just say your really good friend. How can I frame this? Your really good friend, whom you pay for services, disagrees with your purchase. Okay, he doesn't like the purchase. He doesn't think that the purchase is necessary. Think you should buy something else. Okay, but you really like this specific item because it's you feel real passionately about it. It is what it is. It means something to you that it doesn't mean that to that person, and you'll disagree over it. So, relationships. The relationship could go a couple of ways. It could be the same with this, and this is probably a dumb example, but anyway, the relationship could stay the same, but you got to remember the context of is that you feel passionately about this purchase. Your good friend, who you also do some business with, disagrees with you about the purchase, says buy something else, you don't need that. And yeah, so basically, how does the friendship stay with it where it is, and then how does the business relationship stay where it needs to be as well? Because like I said, you also do some business together. And if you had this experience, then maybe you kind of see where I'm coming from. But basically, I just want to kind of walk through how maybe things could be. So the relationship could stay the same. The friendship can stay the same. But what maybe the business, maybe you don't want to feel like you can do business with this person that doesn't respect your passion, or maybe your creativity, or whatever it may be, or maybe the friendship falls apart, but the business continues on as business does. Business continues to flourish, and you just keep working and doing whatever y'all do. Or what if both relationships fail? What if you're not friends anymore, no more, and you're not doing business no more? So I feel like, these things can happen when you're doing friends, when you mix business and friendships, and it kind of makes you think, like, should you ever do business with your friends? Could it work? I've seen it work. We've seen it work with, whether people we know or people on TV, celebrities, or, people we idolize. So it's possible, but what could make that friendship and business continue to be what it could be and should be? And I think the important thing in that is really comes down to communication. And the communication's gonna bridge the way for, you agree to disagree at the end of the day. Some things you don't always see eye to eye on. And it can be with your best friend, a good friend, a close friend, your mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, niece, whatever, whomever. You're gonna encounter those times where if you're trying to, especially if you're trying to do business, that you're not going to always agree on the same things. And I think the communication is key to, allowing everyone to feel like they've been heard, and say their piece. And I think the communication is key to just letting, each other know, or all the parties involved know, where you stand with it. So maybe you have to, take the criticism or the disagreement as a way to improve, or you can take it as, I think you should always take it as a way to improve. But it's naive to think that, we'll always take criticism that way. But I think it's also just communication is just really gonna, bridge that gap between disagreements, and whether you eventually agree or not, I think the value is always in the relationship, that you have with the person. So although you may get things from each other out of the business or whatever, I think the real value is just, the friendship, not even the friendship, just the relationships itself, the relationship of business, the relationship of friendship, both the relationships, and they're different. That's if you even want to, that's if it's a good friend. If it's not a good friend, or if it's not a good close person, then to hell with with the communicating and stuff like that. If it's over, it's over. If the bridge can't be gapped or closed or mended, then you move along and you find things elsewhere, because at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you, and you got to move accordingly. If things aren't going in your favor, or someone's holding you back from something, or someone's opinion is always negative and not, positive or uplifting, then, you don't even got to waste your time trying to communicate with people like that. You just pack your bags and keep it going, because it's a long road, it's a long journey in this life. So you can't really have time to sit by and let people, play with your vision, because you got to maintain that, you got to hold that for sure. I've been looking on, I was reading on Psychology Today, which is one of my favorite websites. It keeps me, in tune with, my psychological thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. So, I was just reading about motivation, and I think I kind of may have talked about motivation prior on a previous episode. And this is episode 11, by the way. I like to try to announce that, and so I could just, see how far we come and see where we go. So, yeah, for episode 11, But I think I talked about it in the prior episode, maybe just in a brief moment. But yeah, I've been reading on Psychology Today. It's a pretty good article on motivation. I don't even think this is an article per se. I just think it just talks about it. But motivation is it's basically a desire to act in service of a goal. So it's one of the main ingredients to achieving goals and completing objectives and just doing things that we want to do. So when you don't have motivation, what it can lead to is basically just kind of like depression, and it could be chronic, it could be severe, it could be minor, but it could lead to depression. Because you got to think, why are people depressed? Uh, the people that just sit in the house, and I know depression has many faces. I'm not ignorant, but why do people just sit around and not do anything? It's because they don't have any motivation to get up and do anything. And when you don't have goals and you don't have even the smallest things, like you really have to put work in sometimes, to achieve things and get things done. You got to put the work in. It just doesn't happen. And I feel like when people just give up and I'm not doing anything, I'm not even going to try. What's the point? It's just the lack of motivation. You don't have any motivation to get up, get out of bed, to figure out a plan in your head, write it out or something to attain the goal or achieve something that is obtainable. So yeah, without motivation, you can definitely be depressed. I did talk about motivation because I think I was talking about intrinsic motivation and what's the other one? Extrinsic motivation. So intrinsic is obviously inner motivation that you form inside and branch out. So internal motivation, just like the thought of I really want to attain this, and that's gonna motivate me. The fact that you want something or that you can get something, it's internal. And there's external motivation, the extrinsic, which is just like it could be social pressure, social motivation, or a job, or something on the outside that doesn't come from it within. So more about the extrinsic motivation. It needs. They say that there's 3 elements to the extrinsic, and the one is to be successful. The other is expectancy. And the other one is instrumentality. So, successful, obviously, just you need success. The expectancy is thinking that, okay, if I do more, then I will get more. So you're expecting it, and so as long as you have that expectancy, then you'll have that motivating factor. And the other one, instrumentality, that basically means like the usefulness of it. So like that can be, okay, I will get noticed if I did this, or I will get rewarded for doing this. And I think I might have said that wrong. So the 3 elements is expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. And that means like, yeah, I got them confused. Sorry. So the expectancy is what I said it was. Instrumentality is like the usefulness of it, and valence is just wanting what is going to be obtained at the end of the motivating, of the whatever it is. So you gotta believe that the effort will reap the reward from the effort. That it'll be useful, that you'll get noticed for it or rewarded for it. And getting the reward itself is also part of the motivating factor of the external motivation. Hopefully I didn't confuse y'all too much about it. So, how should you set goals? How should you, create that motivation to how can I reach that motivation, and how can I have more of it? So, sometimes you have to break the goals down into like small little portions that are doable. So if you know that you have like a huge paper to write, or not even a huge paper, a 3-page paper, and you're trying to just find the motivation to get it done, you're trying to like, man, this 3-page paper is just a lot. So you can break the paper down basically. Like, so like today I'll start with, or for an hour, I'll work on the introduction, and then I'll take a break, and then or I'll just work on the introduction today, and then tomorrow I'll work on the body, and then the next day I'll work on the whatever the end of the damn paper's called. I don't remember. But yeah, man, you just break it down, break the goals into smaller pieces that are obtainable. That way you don't have this just one goal that yeah, you can get it done and it's obtainable, but it would be easier to obtain the goal if I had smaller goals to keep me going, to keep me motivated throughout the process. Because when you're trying to accomplish a goal, it's a process. You don't just, you have to go through whatever, motion it is to get it. And another thing that you need to like keep going is you gotta keep the momentum up. And just like I said, I think the way that you keep the momentum is just by having those smaller goals inside of the main goal. That way it'll just keep you going. It'll keep you like, all right, boom, I did that. Now what's next? Boom, all right, now I did that. I did two things now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a mindset that you just set for yourself. So you just keep always achieving goal. Even if it's a small goal, it's still a goal that you're setting and then you're achieving, and it just keeps you going. I mean, it just kind of motivates itself. It's like it's like a cycle, So you got to keep the momentum up. And there's a lot more into that. It's a lot more into that, into the motivation that I think y'all should just check out and read. I don't want to talk too much about it and, bore y'all with this whole soliloquy on motivation. But, just check it out if you feel like sometimes you lack motivation and you could use more of it, or you just want to learn more about it. Just do some little Google searches on motivation. Where does it come from? How do I, get more of it, and how can I keep it going, and things like that. You have all that information. Like I said, I was reading on Psychology Today. They usually have good articles on there. I told y'all about the one time I seen an article that it said, how hip hop music, what did it do? It was something very therapeutic that hip hop music did. So, and they have categories where you can just be like, all right, I just want to read about just this, just anxiety, or just depression, or grief, or they have different categories that you could just click and read information on that. They have like studies that they post on there. Pretty good, cool website. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk about that a little bit. Another cool thing is relationships. I love talking about relationships. Even though I'm a single dude, I've been in plenty of relationships. I see plenty of relationships. So there's this thing that we do as people. We idealize our partners. And what I mean by that is just like you have this idea of them. You have you see them in a certain way. And it typically happens like in the beginning of relationships where you idealize them the most. And I actually read about this in another class too, but it's neither here nor there. So yeah, we idealize our partners, and we just see the best of them. We see them, and that can be like, it's not just the best version of them. We kind of like put a little sugar on there. We add a little sauce to it. We know that our partner, or we think that our partner is, we just see them. If we think they're pretty, we think they're the best looking person on the planet, because we idealize them so much. We just like, it's kind of like an infatuation almost. And you just see the best versions of them. You kind of overlook the little flaws that they have, and you don't notice the little annoying things that they do until you start to idealize them less and less. Once you get to know them a little more and more, and you spend some time with them, or you start to live with them and things like that, then, even if that idealization could really maintain at a high, level if you really just see the best version of them at all times. You never see, the flaws that they have or anything like that, or you just see them for who they are, and you accept that. So, but yeah, it's idealizing one another. It's something that we do. It's just kind of like the honeymoon phase when, you first go out with someone and you just think they're the best and you want to spend all your time with them and you want to listen to all their little stories and shit like that. And I'll be honest, yo, as a man, I hate hearing stories. I really do. I know I like telling stories, but even then, I don't even... Stories... Women's stories are boring, man. I hate to be the guy to say it, but most of the time, they're boring. Not all of them, but a lot of the shit men don't care about. Like, we really don't. And, yeah, another thing that differs between men and women is the way that we communicate. So, men, we have, like, when we communicate with females, it's kind of like in a report talk. That's what they call it, report talk. It's usually like information driven, or we talk about we kind of report, like we spread information and we talk about whatever, like scores of a football game or something that you did or something like that. When women, the way they communicate is mainly report talk. So they talk to kind of communicate and get to know each other, or kind of really have depth to the communication. And men typically don't. We typically don't. We typically talk about surface level things that are informational based. We don't really have that deeper way of talking that women do. So you got to remember that men and women communicate differently entirely. And I know it's true because whenever I'm talking to my sisters or another female, they'll ask me a question and I'll answer in a way that isn't even significant to what she asked. I'll answer with something that's totally different, that doesn't even answer the question, but it's just how I calculate it, not calculate it, but how I process the information that she asked and, return that information back. It wasn't in the same context, so it's definitely truth to, the way we communicate and still. In more sad news, rapper, hip-hop legend DMX, he's been hospitalized. I think he had a heart attack after he overdosed on something. They say he's on life support, and there was also reports that he was in a vegetative state, but his brain was still working. So, it's a sad and unfortunate. Anybody that knows me know I love DMX. One of my favorite rappers. Outside of like Jay-Z being, I think, the best rapper, DMX is definitely is like top 3 favorites. The first rap song I even knew was Rough Riders Anthem, and that's a classic. Things that he accomplished in his career, when he dropped It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood in the same year. They both went platinum, and that's back in the day, like 98, 99 or something. 98, I think, or 97. One of those years. It's just, we hope that this isn't it. We hope that he pulls through, and, that he continues to, just keep fighting and keep going and, just spreading his word and his presence among all of us. They say he was saying that in the interview that he got addicted to crack by being laced. His blunt was laced by someone that, he loved and looked up to. It was supposed to be like a mentor. And, they laced him with a blunt with weed and crack in it. And, since then, he's just never been the same. So, it really does, truly only does take like one hit of, I've never done crack, but, it's addictive that fast, that instantly. It's kind of like smoking a cigarette. When you first smoke a cigarette and what's that called? Tobacco. Not tobacco. It's a thing in there. Why am I blanking on what it is? The chemical nicotine. There it goes. Nicotine. It's kind of like nicotine. One hit of nicotine and you can be addicted. So it has the same addictiveness or additive. What's the word? Addictiveness. Yeah, whatever. It has that high level of addictiveness. You know what I mean? So, he got laced with it, and I'm sure it changed his life since. I think he said he was at 12 at the time. Yeah, man, it's really sad, man. But I just hope he pulls through. And yeah, man, prayers to him and his family, and the people that care about him, and that grew up listening to him, and we all wanted the dogs on the chains and bandanas on, riding four wheelers. That was the first dude I seen riding four wheelers in the music video, and I mean, gave us classics like "Party Up" and "What These Bitches Want" and "How's It Going Down." Just classics, man. Classics after classics. So yeah, man. Prayers to DMX, man, and we hope he pulls through. They had the Cassidy versus Hitman Holla battle, and I'm mad I missed it. It came on earlier than I thought it would. I thought it was gonna be like a nighttime event, but it happened like midday, so I missed it. So I got to catch up on it. I did see a couple of highlights, but that doesn't tell me the whole battle. And they had some good matches on the undercard too. Old Red, he battled someone. Big K battled somebody. I like Big K out of Norfolk. He goes hard. Who else was on the undercard? What's his name? Old Red, Big K. It wasn't Av. Ill Will. Ill Will was on the undercard as well. So, yeah, they definitely had some good battles on there. I'm going to try to see if I can find those videos. They're probably not on YouTube. I seen that I could pay for it, but I don't know if it's like an instant replay. So if it is, I'll definitely spend the money to watch that and check it out. But that battle happened. Those battles happened, and yeah, man, Cassidy versus Hitman. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen the face off, but Cassidy definitely talked about that in the battle too. So yeah, he had a nice little bar for that. So all my battle rapper people that like to listen to that and watch that. That happened. Tell me who y'all think won. I'm gonna come back and tell y'all who I think won after I seen it. Other music stuff. I don't think anybody. I don't know who dropped music recently. Lil TJ. I think. Did he just drop that album? I think he did. I think Lil TJ dropped the album on Friday. I didn't listen to it yet. I really don't listen to like rappers and stuff. I don't listen to rap music like that. I said I'm an R&B guy, and I kind of stick to that. But yeah. That's as far as sports. Gonzaga, they just pulled off a buzzer beater in college basketball. They beat UCLA. And what's crazy is I just seen the shot go in. I was out having a drink, and the game just happened to be on. I looked up, and boom, it was 93-90, and they was calling game, and I'm like, oh shit, like I just caught the end of that, John. So yeah, that boy hit a crazy shot. It reminds me of that Villanova shot a couple years back when they beat North Carolina. Did I say that? I don't know. But when they beat North Carolina, it reminded me of that shot. And it was a wild shot. He pulled up from like almost half court and just banked it in. I mean, straight buckets, and sent them to the title game. So it's definitely crazy. Definitely kudos to that gentleman, that young man. He had a good shot, probably the biggest shot of his career so far. Hopefully he moves on to hit, more shots just like it, man, because that was crazy. But I wonder, Gonzaga, they undefeated. They probably gonna take the whole thing for real. If I could put my money on anybody, that's probably where I'm gonna put it, because they just been going hard. I really thought that I think USC played them And I like USC, man. I like the squad they had. They had them two bigs. I think they were brothers. And I thought they would do it, and they got spanked. So they didn't even have a chance against Gonzaga. They mopped them. I think by like 20, 25 points or some shit crazy. Oh man, Deshaun Watson, he's still going through it. He's up to like 21 charges, I think, and I think they actually filed the charges too recently. So, listen, man, prayers to everybody involved in that situation. In the NBA, I think y'all know by now, the Nets got better. They added some more pieces. Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. Lakers added Andre Drummond. The Nuggets added Aaron Gordon. Celtics added Evan Fournier. Bulls added Vucevic from Orlando. Yeah, man, people is loading up. Everybody, excuse me. Everybody, they coming for the title this year. And I don't know, man. If I could bet on anybody, I think I had the Nets. But I still like the Sixers. I think it's still going to be Nets and Sixers in the East Finals. And in the West, I like the Nuggets. I like the Jazz, too. Lakers, I can't. I feel like LeBron's like Brady, man. Like in the playoffs, I can't count him out. In the finals, I can because he has the potential of going up against just a better team. Like when he played against the Warriors, they just had a better team, and there's nothing you can do when the team is better. That Nets team, if they get to the finals against LeBron, listen, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, it's a dirty squad. It's a dirty squad, yo. And I don't know too many people that can match that. Like, yeah, LeBron could go off, and Anthony Davis could go off, but they can go off on 2 points. Those Nets players, all three of them, they can hit threes, step back jumpers, go to the bucket, get fouled and one. Like, it's crazy, man. But I still like the Sixers though, because I feel like when you slow that game down and when you just got to get a bucket, nah. I mean, the Sixers are gonna have to be healthy, and their shooters are gonna have to shoot, because the Nets got some shooters, man. They don't got no defense for real, but they can score, and they probably scoring the best out of everybody. I haven't looked at the stats recently, but I know they up there. So I did see the Space Jam trailer, and I thought that looked pretty good. Of course, that's Space Jam 2 with LeBron James, his version of it. And I usually don't watch things like that, but yeah, it definitely looks like it's worth watching. I did see Kong versus Godzilla. That was a really good movie. It was better than I thought. It's the only thing I ain't like about it was 2 hours long, but they really had to tell the story and stuff like that, and had a good little story behind it. So it's definitely a good watch, and that's on HBO Max. What else have I been watching? I've been watching Snowfall, of course. I think they're up to like episode 7 on season 4. Real good show. I don't want to spoil it, but if you haven't been watching it, please watch Snowfall. It's on FX, which is on Hulu. Check that out. I seen the Mortal Kombat trailer recently for the first time. For the first time, and I didn't know it looked that good for real. Like, Mortal Kombat, we grew up on Mortal Kombat. We grew up playing Mortal Kombat on PlayStation 1, and when the graphics looked like complete shit, but we didn't care. And man, the way they did it now, I don't know if y'all remember the Mortal Kombat movies that they used to have a few years back, maybe like 10 years back or so. And they did a few different Mortal Kombats, but yeah, this one looks like it's it. It looks like it's the one that's going to separate it from all the other ones. Definitely on point. And I think that's coming on HBO Max as well. HBO Max is lit for real. If y'all got it, yo, kudos to you. If you don't got it, find a way to get it. If you have AT&T, you can get it for free through your monthly subscription, monthly plan. That's how I got it. So, just a little tip, help people out. I'm really looking forward to, just movies coming forward, and hopefully the movie theaters open back up too, because I would definitely go to the movies way more often than I do now. So, yeah, man. Listen, before we wrap up, man, I just want to let everybody know, listen, like I said, man, get out, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your lives, travel while you can, especially while, there's no laws preventing you from doing so. I know y'all probably heard about the vaccine thing. They're saying that you're not going to be able to travel without the vaccine card. Georgia, I think it was Georgia, they banned that vaccine card passport requirement thing, and I thought that was a good thing. One of the good things that actually came from, or probably the only good thing that came from Georgia recently, was that little ban that they put on there, which basically means that, like, how it's going to say, like, hey, you can't get in this establishment without a vaccine card. Well, they're banning all those requirements, because they said it's going to, like, create more classes and division, and certain people ain't going to be able to have it. So, and I think that's right, and I think that's the best thing to do. No one should implement any type of you need a vaccine to go anywhere in this country. That's un-American for sure. But yeah, man, get out, do great, be great. Listen, if you're trying to be a boss and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, just set reasonable goals for yourself. That way, like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier about the motivation. You can kind of build on those little goals. But, just set reasonable goals. Don't try to think that you can, obtain these huge things in short periods of time. Just be mindful, be reasonable, master your mind. That way you master yourself. And, just show love and be righteous, man. This life is short, man. Recently, my friend, he just lost his dog, and, I was there when he found the dog. Shout out to Muggsy. And we had the dog for like over 10 years, man. And, human life is short. Pet life is short. Ocean life is short. Rainforest life is short. Life is getting shorter and shorter. And the things that you eat is narrowing your life. The stress that you have narrows your life. The things that you smoke or your recreational hobbies or things that you do that may be dangerous, that can shorten your life too, man. We're trying to maximize our lives out here and maximize our potential in ourselves. So learn yourself, know yourself, and be great, man. The greatest gift we have is time in life. And if you can figure out a way, the best way to manage your time and utilize your time and really become one with yourself, I mean, the results is limitless. You can really do anything in this world. You can be anything. You know what I mean? So we came from greatness. We came from kingdoms. And we got to live like kings and queens ourselves in order to reflect that in our lives. So we got to think of it like that. We got to think of ourselves like that. And we'll see the real life, royalty for sure. Stay loyal to yourself. Stay blessed. Stay beautiful. It's so easy. I'll catch y'all next time, man.